Hi guys, how are you? So I'm going to give you guys the part 2 of that word, okay? This is not really a part 2, but the reason why I said that they kind of do fall into the same category and they resemble, let me tell you why. Because not last week, I think I said last week in the last word, but a couple weeks ago, God mentioned something to me, and I didn't put out the word because I wasn't sure like full details as to what was going on. But early this morning, when he gave me this word through a prophetic dream, he reminded me of that word. So when I had this dream and I woke up, I was like, wow, this is teaching me a lesson too, you know? And as I was saying, like, oh, this is teaching me a lesson, I understand now, God, why sometimes you will say, like, you know, to pray before you do things and all that. He brought me back to the prophetic word that he gave me a few weeks back. So what I saw a few weeks back was the Lord went like this with his hand. And I knew right away he was saying like up, going higher and higher and higher. So he was talking about like leveling up, right? And then he mentioned something about like opportunists and people looking for for an opportunity. So I was like, okay, guys, so basically people are looking for a come up. And he said yes, like, you know, so he gave me the confirmation and went like this, which is like higher, okay? The reason why I said these words are similar is because in the other video I talked about, you know, helping people, giving to people, being an overgiver can get you in trouble, can get you in debt. But I also talked about how some people are supposed to go through a wilderness period like you did. Some people are supposed to rely on God and trust God, right? In this particular video, what God was saying is like, a lot of you guys, you know, just like I talk about all the time how we have breakthroughs coming, and how many of us, we may not see our full prophecies, but God may show us a glimpse of our prophecies. But remember how I also told you guys that there's people out there, good and bad, who can see your prophecies. Whenever you allow someone to have access to your spirit, you know, whether it's just a face-to-face meet, whether you work with them, whether it's a family, whether it's, you know, however way they have access to your spirit, just you being around someone, even if they just hear about you through someone else, that's someone having access to your spirit. People can dream about you, they can see certain things about you, and sometimes people can see where you're going to be 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now. People can see that, right? And what he was showing me is some of you guys, there's good people that can see your prophecies, but there's also evil people that can see your prophecies. And because you are an overgiver and you're very kind, people may take your kindness for weakness. As in, there's people who are watching you and they see you, like keeping an eye on you, and they see you as a come up. They see you as the person they're going to go to for a come up. And yes, God does give us destiny helpers. However, there are some people who are, they don't like you. There are some people, they would not say happy birthday if it was your birthday. They would not let you cry on their shoulder if you're going through a hard time. These are some of the people that wouldn't care if you were going through turmoil or obstacles, but they will see that you have something coming in for you. They will see that you're going to level up, and they will try to attach themselves to you as early as possible because they know you're about to come up. Okay, so they will try to leech off you early. You know, it's like, how do I explain it? It's like someone trying to utilize their opportunity by being associated with you. And even though you may not have anything now, or you may not have much now, they may see your prophecy and be like, oh, he's going to be at this level, she's going to be at this level, and they will attach themselves to you as early as possible to make it seem like they've been there. Okay, this is a tactic. Now, this is not a good person. What God was showing me, this is someone that is looking for an opportunity. It's an opportunist. There's people who are like that. They know that you're going to elevate in life. They can see it. It's not hidden to them. They can see it through a dream. They may have dreamt of you in like a high-rise building, your own office, being a CEO, and then they may look at you now like, oh, I know where you're going to be 5 years from now. Let me attach myself to you from now so I can get me a piece of that pie. So, you know, basically what he was saying is there's people who are looking at you as their come up, but you are not assigned to them by God. You get what I'm saying? You were not assigned to them by God. They're coming to you based on their desires, based on what they want, right? It's not like you were assigned to them or they're assigned to you by God. So their intentions and motives behind attaching themselves to you is solely based on their selfish needs and what they want to achieve in life, right? And they don't really care about you, right? So you have to be careful. One thing that God was showing me too is people are very ruthless. They will use his name to attach themselves to you. They will say things like, oh, God told me to call you, or God told me to, you have to call me, or God told me that, we have to be friends, or God told me that we have to be in a relationship, or God told me this, God, and it's like, I know it's sad to say, but it's the truth. Just like a narcissist would sit there and say and utilize the Bible to their advantage to, enable or to validate their sin, to make it seem like what they're doing to you is right. People do the same thing when it comes to wanting to leech off you or wanting to attach themselves to you in hopes that they can come up off you. Because some people, they know that you love hard. They know you have a big heart. They know you love God. They know you're serious about your walk. So what's the easiest way to enter your life? Talking about God. Saying that God told them to come in your life. Saying, you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, just like we have witches in the churches who will manipulate people with the scripture and manipulate people with God and tell people, if you don't do this, you're going to hell, to scare people. There's people who will utilize God's name just to attach themselves to you so they can come up off you, because they can see your prophecy. They can see whatever blessings God has for you. And instead of them doing the work, instead of them, repenting and do what they need to do to get right with God so they can, receive their blessings, they see it as it's easier to just attach themselves to you, right? This is why you have to pray about every single person that is in your life. You got to pray about every single person that comes in your life. You know what I mean? And it happens to me a lot, even being like on YouTube. Like, I get emails all the time from people. God said you're supposed to call me. God says I'm supposed to connect with you. God said this, God said that. And I'm just, me being like someone that doesn't talk to a lot. I don't even talk on the phone unless I do like coaching calls. But outside of that, I'm not even on the phone. Like, I don't talk to people at all, really. Right? So me being that kind of person, I'm like, okay, I wonder why God never told me that. So I would pray about it and stuff. And God would say he never said that. But these were not all of them. Some of them, they may have really thought God said that. But then there's some people who just want to connect. But there's actually some people who will use God's name to get in touch with me, to try to get me to talk to them, reach out to them, to communicate with them. And it's manipulation. I remember one time someone said, God told me to tell you this message. And they made a whole video. And they sent me the video. And the video had to do with my kingdom husband. And literally everything they said in that video was totally against what God told me. Everything they said in that video went against all the prophecies that God showed me, during my fast. Everything in that video went against everything God told me. And I'm like, that's when I knew I had to be careful and not accept links, click on certain links people send me and all of that stuff. So if you guys wonder why there's links can't post on my YouTube comment section, this is why I don't post links I don't allow links on my comment section, because of that. But people will literally manipulate and use God's name as a way to attach themselves to you. And there's evil people who will try to twist your prophecies that way too. God told me to tell you this. God told me. You see what I'm saying? So in this particular case, there's people who are going to use God's name to try to attach themselves to you because they know you love God. They know you're on the walk. It's no different from you got away from a narcissistic person and you're on your new journey. You don't talk to them no more, and you're obedient to God, and they see you leveling up, and they know, okay, all the old tactics I use don't work. They're not going to answer my phone call. But as soon as they mention God, you may open the message and actually read it, or you may actually click it because you love God. So it's like they know the smartest way to get in touch with you is to mention God, right? Oh my gosh, this happened to me with my ex-husband. He did the same thing. Utilized God in order to try to manipulate me, and God literally came through in the spirit and was like, no. You know what I mean? Try to utilize God to manipulate me. So this is the same tactic that some people are using because they can see your prophecy, and a lot of people want to come up, right? And you, like I said, you don't have to be a public figure. You don't have to be somewhere in your life right now where you're successful. There's a lot of people who may see that you're not where you want to be right now, or you're not where God is going to take you, but they can see where God is going to take you. And a lot of people are smart. They will sit there and be like, okay, let me attach myself to him or her now, because I know that in a couple of years they're gonna elevate so big, and I want to be attached to them. I want to be able to say that I was with you when you had nothing. I want to be able to, and a lot of these people that God was showing me are doing this, they don't have good intentions for you. They would not help you if you were drowning. A lot of them just see it as you as an opportunity, as a come up. So like I said, you don't have to have nothing right now. You don't have to have anything going for you right now. It's not about what you have now, but it's about where you're going to be. And people can see where you're going to be. And a lot of people are smart. They utilize that. They're smart. They know to try to make their entry in your life early before you get there, because they can see it. But like I said, this is why you have to take every single thing to prayer. When I talk to people, I'm like, let me pray to God and ask God about it. Let me talk to God about it. Because you have to confirm every person that's in your life. Because people have hidden motives, hidden ulterior motives that you wouldn't even know. And because you are kind, they will take your kindness for weakness, and they will use God's name to manipulate you or to guilt trip you into doing things for them, or helping them, or even talking to them, reaching out to them, just them wanting to be associated with you. You got to protect yourself, especially when you have prophecies and breakthroughs. You got to protect yourself. This is how evil people come into people's lives, because they will sit there and use God's name, enter a prophet's life, or enter an anointed's life, enter an anointed's life, enter a prophet's life, and then destroy things, go in their life and mess things up and throw them off their path. Right? And because how did they get into the person's life? They used God's name to enter the person's life. Right? So be careful, guys. I'm going to give you this confirmation, but there's some people who are looking to take your kindness for weakness, and they're looking for a come up. So I want to give you this confirmation. Love you guys. Bye.